How long do we have until the Florida housing market is completely underwater? That's exactly what we are going to talk about today. And the topic for this video was actually brought about by a phone call that I received from someone just like you who watched my content on YouTube and then reached out to learn more about the Florida housing market. And so, special shout out to Randy Weiss, because she had watched some of my content talking about the Village's housing market and wanted to learn more. And to be totally transparent, so there is no confusion, I am a boots on the ground operator of a high performance real estate team located in South Palm Beach County. And while I am committed to sharing the truth about what's going on in every housing market that exists within the state of Florida, in markets that are not in my wheelhouse, I am not your best resource when it comes to the hyperlocal markets that exist within the housing markets that I share with you. But I am absolutely the best resource to connect you with an all-star professional who can serve and support you at the highest level and advocate and negotiate for you the right way. Because there are two things that I guarantee every client that I work with, which is number one, we will not allow you to overpay for a home. We will get you the best deal possible. And number two, we are going to ensure that you are in the place that you want to be, the exact right fit for you, your family, and your financial bottom line, so that you can max out Florida living to the fullest. And that holds true of anyone that I would ever connect you with. But at the end of the conversation, she asked a question which kind of threw me a little bit of a curveball, because she asked me, how long until the Florida housing market is underwater? Which of course I interpreted as meaning how long until the housing market crashes, which is a very common question that most people ask. But that's not what she was asking. She literally meant how long until the Florida housing market is underwater, meaning underwater, like the lost city of Atlantis. And while I'm no Jim Cantori, and I'm certainly not a meteorologist or an expert in climate change or ocean levels rising, I think there's 0% chance of Florida being underwater in our lifetime. And while I obviously hope I'm right, I could be wrong. And as per usual, there is an expert out there that disagrees with me completely. And so I felt compelled to share what he thinks, because there might be a hidden time bomb and housing markets could literally be underwater at some point in the future. And Dan Burt, who called the housing market crisis and was a big short investor, sees financial disaster brewing in the housing markets. And Burt believes an overlooked climate risk could see history repeating itself. And his firm, Delta Terra Capital's research suggests that 20% of U.S. homes have meaningful exposure to a mispricing issue because of flood risk. And if realized, he warned that the fallout could resemble the extraordinary correction seen during the global financial crisis. And he noted that recovery in Florida from Hurricane Ian was an issue that he has been watching closely, specifically because this storm surge exposed a flood insurance nightmare for homeowners. And he warned that the U.S. housing market could be overvalued by around $200 billion due to unpriced flood risks. And at present, the study suggests that nearly 15 million U.S. properties face a 1% annual likelihood of flooding, with expected annual damages to residential properties forecast to exceed $32 billion. And yes, I'm aware that the flooding scenario and the insurance risk inherent in the market is not exactly the same thing, as sea levels rising will certainly impact certain sections within Miami Beach and certainly impact the Florida Keys. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, and I certainly don't believe it's going to happen in my lifetime. And I hope to live a long, happy life. Which takes me to a Florida housing market that you must know about. And because it is in the interior of the state of Florida, I can tell you there's 0% chance of it being underwater literally anytime soon. But let's see what the most recent data suggests as far as prices are concerned in terms of them being underwater anytime soon. And of course, we're talking about the Lakeland Winter Haven Metro. We're talking about Polk County. And in February of 2023, single-family homes closed sales fell off a cliff, and they were underwater relative to the same period last year, down 13.3%. And cash sales were underwater too, down 38.3%. but median and average sales price both upticked by 1.5% to a little bit north of 329 and change and a little bit north of 342,000 in terms of median and average sales price. But to be clear, single digit appreciation, which is what I expect you will see in most Florida housing markets over the course of the next year. But dollar volume dropped 12%, and median percent of original list price received was down 4.8% to 95.2%. But median time to contract and median time to sale both upticked exponentially, up 444.4% as far as time to contract and 100% in terms of time to sale, which, to be clear, is a return to normal. New pending sales are down 4.5%. New listings are underwater by 15%. And the pending inventory is down 15% too. The inventory of active listings, the amount of homes sitting on the market unsold, is up 165.6%. There are 2,850 homes sitting on the market unsold in Polk County, in the Lakeland Winter Haven metro, which translates into an uptick of month supply to 2.5 months from under a month. A massive uptick of 178%. And a 12-month look back at median sales price will give us some very critical information to understand whether this market is likely to be underwater anytime soon as far as median sales price is concerned. And what you can see is that in the Lakeland Winter Haven metro, year to date, median sales price is up 2.3% to almost $327,000. And while it's up 1.5% in February, you can't help but notice that is the slowest appreciation we've seen over the last 12 months. But gone are the days of 25, 29, 32, 31, 29, and 33% as far as median sales price is concerned. And the average sales price in the Lakeland Winter Haven metro demonstrate the same thing, although the numbers are a little bit higher. Year to date, the percentage change is up 3.1% to $341,500, which again is the slowest appreciation that we've seen in the last 12 months. But gone are the days of 28, 30, 29, 28, and damn near 30%. In the near term, those numbers are off the table. I don't suspect we're going to see double-digit growth like that for a long time, mainly due to the fact that the supply side is constrained. And although there is a massive uptick in the amount of homes sitting on the market unsold, new listings year to date are down 9.7%. And the last 6 months has been a consistent trend of lack of new listings. But the 6 months prior to that, there was a tremendous amount of new listings. Up 27%, up 35%, up 41%, up 24%, up 24%, which tells me that homeowners are reluctant to sell. And I'll tell you why they're reluctant to sell. Because what homeowner wants to trade out of a 2, 3, 4% mortgage interest rate into a 7, 8, 9, 10% mortgage interest rate? Who wants to double or triple their monthly mortgage payment? I'll tell you, nobody. And they're reluctant because the pain of recession has not caused pain sufficient enough to cause distressed sales. And homeowners in this metro are sitting on a metric shit ton of equity. And although foreclosures in the Polk County market have increased 700%, there were only 8, up from 1, which is a non-event. Up until it is. And short sales declined 100%, big fat goose egg, 0 zilch nada, down from 1. And with so much equity inherent in this market, it is very unlikely that there will be a distressed sale crisis anytime soon. Because although homeowners who choose to sell may not get the all-time high, they will certainly cash out with a tremendous amount of equity, up until they don't. Now, I hope you found this content valuable, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. If there's a market you'd like me to cover that I have not covered yet, it is coming soon, but please leave the request down below, and I'll get to it right away. And if you're thinking about buying or selling, please reach out to me directly because we would love to help. And check out my next video because I suspect you will love it a lot. And until next time,